How many people play guitar here? All right, just a couple. Now, for those of you that don't, I have the perfect instrument for you. Strum Acoustic. I grew up playing classical piano, so I went to college for, but my career path took a drastic turn and I started getting into electronic music. But a lot of this comes back full circle. Now, I'm relatively busy, or so I think I am, but I don't really have time to pick up a guitar and learn how to do all this stuff. But even honestly, for friends that I have that are guitarists, if you're trying to sample yourself playing, sometimes it can take a while just to set that up. If you have that burst of creativity, you have to get out your guitar. Maybe your studio is not patched up right to actually record an input, or you have to set up a microphone. But with Strum Acoustic, you get this, very natural sounding, chord progressions and stuff like that as well. So let's just take a listen to a couple. Some oomp chops, so. Get out of that quickly. But what's cool is I can turn on the auto chords feature and choose a key, for example. So maybe I want it to be E and a minor scale. And then on my keyboard, I can literally just push a couple notes and it plays these chord progressions. Get out of it quickly. There we go. So I hate that pattern. Let's find something that's a little bit better. No, that's the offbeat. We'll do rock. That works. I can switch up different patterns. Get that traditional guitar acoustic slap. That's where everyone goes. Yeah, you don't have to do it, don't worry. Then I can get out of it quickly. Thank you, good night. Yeah, so you do have these really cool auto chord features, and again, there's a lot of editing capabilities. For example, what's playing. If I want emphasis on more of the higher notes or the lower, can add different rooms for reverbs. And there's a lot of different patterns I can choose from. Like maybe I don't like that one. Maybe I want it to be open. I want it to be on this rhythmic structure. And it goes through my entire list of what I have. Ooh, campfire. So you get these you even hear like the squeaks and all of that too from the strings. Yeah.
Can you switch from rock to something else without stopping?
Yeah. No. Yeah, like if I do, let's say rock A, and switch to the campfire.
Let's say you want to go from rock to reverb.
Oh, to these. These will, if you do that, I think you could. It basically, when you click on one of these presets, it switches all of the different slots in there. So if you want specific patterns, I could switch it up like that. Let's see if I switch it. Yeah, it just stops. But yeah, you can basically kind of, all these presets that you have in here, like the rave up, I can just search for that and just start making my own progression. And this is all MIDI as well. So if I record this in my DAW, I can have different, all the different rhythmic switches. If I just record that as MIDI, it's going to auto switch the different pattern.
The pattern we hear, it's a MIDI file playing. It's a sequence, or is it a recording of a loop?
It's a recording.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of recordings of this.
I was curious, how deep can you dive in terms of chord progressions? Because like I saw you were adding chords together, but like for instance, if you wanted to go for more of a like jazz chord progressions where you're like throwing in 9s and 11s and 13s and really like inverting your chords, like how deep can you dive into?
Unfortunately, not too deep with it. You basically have these. You can kind of do major, minor. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't really necessarily build a ton. If you go to the minor, you have 7s, 9s, stuff like that. So you could. Oh, why isn't it playing? So I could add 7s and 9s. But if you don't want, you can always turn off the auto chord feature and then just play your own chords from the keys themselves. So I can do like. I love that sound. So string slap. Yeah. So it's a very playable, very playable, synth or sampled instruments that you can use. So again, I'm not a guitarist, so this is the perfect tool for me. Let's see. Do one up. Do one other on here. Where'd it go? It's too many.
Sorry, quick question.
Yeah.
Is Komplete, I guess, in standalone as well? Like right now, are you using it through like Machine, or can you use these synths and sampled instruments like in standalone? Just like open them on your computer like you can with like FMA and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, you can do that. The reason for some reason I think it's my Machine software. It's just a beta, but basically, like a lot of these things, like if you see the keyboard here, I have all these different colors, and those colors are representing certain aspects of the strummed acoustic. So the red are the different patterns or the different strumming techniques. The yellow and the green are those ways to get out of the strumming, and then the blue are the chords I'm actually playing. So a lot of these new instruments have these unique color coding systems, like the string and the brass, for example. With inside of Machine, that should be carried over, but all the keys were just orange, so it just gets confusing. It's normally not supposed to do that. It's something I have to tell them to fix. But right now, it's basically running this Komplete Control software, which is it's a wrapper for all of my instruments. So instead of having to load up Contact and going through those libraries or FMA Massive individually, anytime I want to load something, I literally just load Komplete Control. So if you looked at a machine, or let's say I'm doing this in Ableton or Logic, I might have 20 instances of Komplete control. But each time, I'm loading those inside of, I'm loading my instruments that I want. And the reason I do that is all of my Komplete library, everything is pre-mapped for me. If I just load up Massive, for example, by itself, it's not going to get mapped on my key automatically. So if I load up FM8 or Massive, I have like basically 16 pages that I can go through and tweak every single thing that I need. Or page 1 is really like the core elements of stuff I need. So I have, even for here with the Strum Acoustic, I have reverb on off. I can adjust the reverb type from medium hall, small hall, adjust the scales, all from here. So it integrates very quickly. But even if I have specific presets, or even like my third-party VSTs, for example, like Jupiter 8, for example, it's Arturia, it all loads up inside of Komplete Control. Probably haven't activated it yet, but this is a big one. There we go. So I mean, even this loads up inside of Komplete Control. And all of these, this is what's basically what we call NKS, the native control standard, which is kind of the naming for an instrument that has the pre-mapped knobs for you, or parameters. So any of the NKS supported instruments or companies, plugins, all of those are going to be pre-mapped for you. So I can literally just play this, and I have a filter. I can easily start controlling stuff, go through my presets. And anytime I load up an instrument in Komplete Control, I can take advantage of those pre-made chord progressions or scale types, for example. So maybe I want minor pentatonic, blues, sounds like Stranger Things. Yeah. It's the latest Netflix craze. Yeah. So yeah, if you load stuff in there, you can take advantage of it. But for me, what helps a lot with this is, again, if you look at my library, there's a ridiculous amount of stuff that I have here. I don't have enough time to go through all of this stuff. So I can just go to my all instruments and say I'm looking for a bass sound that's digital, that's, I don't know. Can't read. We'll just do all of these. All of these presets match all of my synth sampled instruments. They all meet those tags. So whatever I load up here, excuse me, this is Razor. There's Razor. If I go down in the preset list, it may not load up Razor. Now it loads up Massive. So basically, it's a quick way to find all these different types of instruments. There's a lot of times I search through my library like this, and I might not use rounds as a bass. There's a lot of instruments and like synths that I actually kind of rediscover through this means here. So. Yeah. So it basically just improves, speeds up my workflow. I'm not digging through 300 massive presets. I'm digging through exactly what I'm looking for, and it makes it a lot easier. Let's do the last one here. Yeah, so we also have, so we came out with action strings a while ago, which is more of like the Hans Zimmer style, really fast types of strings. But now we have emotive strings, or I like to call it emotional strings. So you have a little bit more melodic, slower sequenced string patterns. So I can press one of these here. So it's playing that first sequence at the top. If I switch it, so similar to strummed acoustic, I can swap out what patterns I want here. So maybe I want without borders. It's that one. Switch this one up. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you write your own rhythm on the sheets there? No?
No, unfortunately not. Potentially down the road. But yeah, you basically just got to play it live. Yeah, just play out your own one. Actually, maybe, yeah. So yeah, I wish you'd be able to do some editing, but yeah, it's kind of just there's tons of them, and you can kind of merge them together if you want. So you could do like. But the idea is to give you just some, again, pre-made rhythmic structures that you can add on top of, whatever song you want. So if you need some, if you're working on a movie or a film, and you need this very, very sad part, you can just. Sounds like it's Inception, that movie. So there's a lot of. Tons of patterns. There's more than you can really deal with. Again, you can choose different time signatures. Yeah, it's that Pirates theme again. It's a great one.